Hello, I'm Suzanne Bohm from Lake San Marcos in California, and I am an experiencer of the near-death experience. I went to the dentist office one day, and it was supposed to be a dental appointment like all my other dental appointments, but I actually flatlined in the dentist chair. I died, and I found myself all of a sudden in this tunnel, and as I was in this tunnel, and I looked ahead, I thought, wow, where am I? Because I remembered at that moment that I was in the dentist chair, and yet all of a sudden I found myself somewhere else. So later I deducted that when you die, your mind doesn't stop, your mind keeps going. But I still hadn't realized that I had died. And I found myself being pulled toward this beautiful light at the end of the tunnel. It was a very small pinpoint light, and I got pulled closer and closer to this light. And there were other beings like myself in this tunnel, and they would get pulled toward the light and then through to the other side. And as I got closer, it was like a vacuum cleaner that kind of sucked me through the light to the other side. And I was totally baffled and wondered, now what's going on? But at that moment I was totally disconnected from the dentist office itself. I was totally in a whole different realm, and I found myself feeling like I was ascending, and I was like in this funnel and going through layers of, I don't want to say rainbow of colors, it was more like an aurora borealis where the lights went up and down and up and down, beautiful, magnificent lights, and they had little sparkles in them. And as I rose through the aurora borealis light effect, all of a sudden I saw my dog that I had as a childhood. I saw Rusty. He was an Irish setter, and he was young and beautiful, and his fur shone, and I thought, wow, that's amazing. Our souls of our pets are here. And then I started ascending again through layers of white light, very softly curved, and one layer right after another, and they started in a particular white light, and each layer was a different intensity of white. It wasn't bright, it was soft and mellow, but almost like it was mixed with blues and just different intensities of white light. And there were beings there just like me, and I'm thinking, whoa, what's going on here? And so I tried to pinch myself, and when I looked down at my body, I didn't have a body. It was only light. It was a light, and the beings that were in these layers of white light were the same, and it was like I had ears, and like I had a head, like I had eyes, and my head was there, just my body was gone. They were the same. It was like we were talking to each other telepathically. We were talking with our minds. And as I passed through and continued ascending, I saw way at the top of this little funnel this beautiful, magnificent ball of light. And it was like when in the past, in the old days, when the television program went out at midnight, there was all of this crackly energy, only this was a ball of light and energy field that was like diamonds and jewels, and it pulsated, it swirled, it pulsated, and it went from all the beautiful hues and colors that exist, almost colors that even don't exist in our earthly world. It was so bright and brilliant, and yet I could look right straight into this light. And as I ascended continuously, I felt buoyant and really quite relaxed. Finally, the stresses were totally gone that we normally have. And in the last layer, it was like the last layer cradled this beautiful ball of light. And there were beings there that said, "We know that you know where you're going." And I said, I know where I'm going. I'm not even sure what's happening here. And with that, I shot right to the center of this magnificent ball of light above me, just like a catapult. And there I was in the center of this beautiful, beautiful, magnificent light. And out of that light came this voice and says, "You're safe. You're here with me. You're safe." And I'm looking around, who is that? And the voice came back and said to me, "I am the light." "You're the light? You mean you're trying to tell me you're the transcendent? You're the one, the great kahuna, are you trying to tell me that you're God?" And the voice came back again, "Yes, I am the light, and you are safe. You are here with me." I just said he. The voice was a man's voice, but like no other voice that you've ever heard. And it came down on me and just washed the woes of the world away. And then suddenly I realized, oh my goodness, I must be dead. That's when I really realized, it hit me hard that I was dead. And we had this conversation, and he told me that I could stay there. I'd earned my right to stay there, that I was an old soul, but I had a choice to come back if I wanted to. And he says, "If you go back, I have a job for you to do." He gave me assignments. He says, "I want you to go back and mentor. Then I want you to write a book about exactly what happened and what you have heard here, and I want you to take back messages. Oh, and I have a missing ingredient for you." And I said, "A missing ingredient? You mean God's going to impart on me a secret?" And so we finished the conversation when I thought, oh my goodness, if I'm having this conversation with you, then I really did die, and do I want to go back? And oh, I think I was in the dentist office. And I thought, oh, I don't want to die at the expense of my dentist. And with that, everything went black. And then I thought, oh my goodness, I'm not going to get the second chance. And I found myself floating up on the ceiling, watching the dentist resuscitate me. And a whole new experience began of my life, and I went home, I locked myself in the bedroom, and I began writing. And I wrote and wrote and wrote until I had the whole outline of the book there, and I didn't want to forget it. And I never have forgotten it. It's still with me. Every cell, every moment of every day, the experience is with me. It's wonderful, it's beautiful, it's magnificent. There are no earthly words to explain the magnificence of being on the other side. And he told me that our life is like a circle, and he said, he drew little parentheses here, and he says, this is your life here in the earthly experience, and you still have all the rest of this yet to live as spiritual beings. So now being back, I share this with as many people as I can through my book, and a movie's going to be made of it also. We're in early film production, and I no longer have fear of death. I understand it. I'm friends with it, and I almost envy people who have passed now. I think, oh, you lucky son of a gun, you're already in that peaceful, beautiful place of harmony. A place of harmony is my most important word, and we're still left here to figure it out.